Alright everyone, there's a link in the description to this video to a study from Australia showing that a lot of times trolls become self-replicating. Of course, nobody can be born a troll. They have to be molded in the furnaces. They have to be smelted and refined and created to be the trolls that they are. What this study found is that a large number of the people that engage in such behavior had themselves been trolled. Now, let's be less glib here. The study misses the mark. It's basically a fear piece. It's the idea of, well, if we don't crack down on this, we're going to make psychopaths and stuff like that. Well, it's true that somebody who has a latent tendency to be violent or heinous can be triggered by bullying. That's not always the case. Oftentimes it's paired with bad upbringing and shit like that. But they're trying to make the pitch that trolling is related to psychopaths, generally speaking, and isn't just harmless fun for the most part. It's different from, like, stalking and continuously harassing a person. Trolling is in good fun. You misrepresent something and people fall for it, like satire accounts on Twitter or something. Yeah, you're trolling the person. You're bothering them, and if they block you and you keep doing it, of course, that's against TOS, but doing it as a one-off from a parody account is not. So if you pretend to be Alyssa Milano or Stephen King or any of the other snowflakes out there who right now are livid over the verification system on Twitter, the blue check marks, oh my god, my blue check mark went away. $8 per... Now the peasants have them. The peasants are the ones with the blue check mark, and we get so used to having them that we're pissing our pants thinking about it. And you pretend to be them and have them say, like, you know, off-the-wall stuff. Dankula's really good at this. He's convinced people over and over that he's something that he's not. Christian school teacher, massive cringe lord, SJW, stuff like that. He does this all the time. For a while, I think that his username was frozen as Big Penis, if I remember correctly. He's good at bothering people. Just remember the whole pug incident that jump-started his fucking career. Anyway, you do that sort of, that's troll. It's hilarious. The average person would find it funny. You're becoming the butt of the joke. It's like when somebody, you know, falls and the spaghetti starts sliding out of their pockets and they're on the floor crying and embarrassed. It's amusing. It's not really the reasonable person. They might feel embarrassed, but they're not going to complain about how it's going to ruin their life or turn them into a psychopath or something. So the story is almost self-satirizing, ironically, in and of itself, because that's what it's based on. It's also funny because, of course, it's in Australia. When one of the largest BLM pages on Facebook years ago was exposed as being run by an Australian dude who was effectively taking the money and running. I thought that was great, and by the way, you know, you couldn't do a better troll because you're taking money from idiots who would otherwise give them to communists, so might as well give it to an Australian troll. There's plenty of them. I also remember a study, one that was a little bit, you know, beyond this one, because of course everyone on the internet has been trolled, so if you ask people who engage in trolling, if they've been trolled, there's a 99% chance that they have at some point. There's, in fact, a lot of them probably just didn't admit to it. No, I've never been trolled. I'm only the one that trolls others. To be clear, yeah, I was made into a troll partially by being trolled. Partially, though, simply by using ICQ. I started having a problem with some of the moderation there, and so I learned the ropes of how to bother people and disrupt chat rooms, and thought it was so funny I took it to other sites. I remember the golden days of YouTube back when the comments were public and people could actually get notified and see what was there, and you could say anything that you wanted, basically. Oh, I used to go on tirades. I would go across thousands and thousands of channels sometimes in a weekend and just leave random comments. I would especially go after Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez fans. I thought that was, and Miley Cyrus and people like that. I thought that was the most fun because usually they had crazy reactions. Of course, back then it was also easier to have multiple accounts. They didn't really give a shit about it back then. Sorry, YouTube. Never got banned for it, though. People actually were reluctant to report things like that. But I remember reading another study, actually, this was 2015 or thereabouts, I think, that showed that Vermonters, my home state in the United States, disproportionate to every other single U.S. state, are the most likely to use harmful or abusive language online. I thought that was funny because people like Bernie will tell you, well, Vermont should be the standard by which the whole United States is judged. You know, they wanted socialized health care, which didn't work, and so they kicked out the governor, actually. Yeah, the Dem governor at the time didn't get canned because he was fucking up. The right wing didn't kick him out. The left wing kicked him out for not being left wing enough. And now we've got supermajority progressives in the House and Senate in Vermont. And you wonder why the state's insolvent. But Vermonters engage in that sort of behavior more. Despite the squeaky clean, woke image of the state of Vermont, trust me, most of that abuse is coming from people who outwardly consider themselves liberals. We know this because of the massively disproportionate number of leftoids in the state of Vermont. In fact, there is, if I remember correctly, a minor correlation between how far left the state is and how much abusive language comes from it. I'm pretty sure that was the case. It's like, I think last place was like Oklahoma or something like that. I would think that they'd be all like, oh, the gay people this and the black folk that. That's the stereotype, but it's actually the opposite. I'm not surprised in the least. Trolling self-replicates? No. Really? When people realize how funny it is to dunk on one another, they want to keep doing it because it's hilarious. And again, the study is meant to get the middle class, pearl-clutching Karen moms to worry about little Jimmy's internet usage. Oh my god, little Jimmy got bullied a couple of times on well, not Facebook at this point, yeah, with Gen Z, none of them use it, on TikTok or wherever. I don't even know if they have a DM system. Never used it, never will. He got bullied on TikTok. He got called ugly on YouTube. Hey, what's this site called? Reddit. And you know, that's nonstop cringe lord shit. Oh my god, he found out about 4chan. Well, he's definitely going to become a little bit warped now. This is meant to invoke censorship, really, this article. To me, it does the opposite. It becomes unintentionally funny. Australian trolls are multiplying. They are making more of themselves. It's sort of like a zombie virus. I mean, if you listen to this. So I guess if people troll 10 times harder, we can speedily turn the entire world into a bunch of trolls. People have a sense of humor again. Wow. Maybe we have a cure for leftism. All we got to do is give them the modified zombie virus, and we can cure them of the fact that they're so dour and sour and have absolutely no humor or skills whatsoever. Maybe leftoid memes will improve. Instead of being a wall of text ripoff of something that was posted originally by some Nazi somewhere, they'll actually think of something original. Probably not. That would require more intelligence, but at least we can make them think that they're funny. That would be an improvement, I suppose. I love this article. This is the sort of lifeblood stuff that I like to talk about outside of politics, even though it does, I mean, it overlaps with it in the sense of censorship and things like that, but man, watching them go to these lengths to try to get people riled up, and they literally, I guess people taking this seriously may actually believe that Jimmy and Sally, by virtue of encountering mean words on the internet, are going to start becoming psychopaths. That's the insinuation that it means. I mean, it states it's not even an insinuation. It's like, well, a lot of these people show psychopathic tendencies. That's sort of like saying that you don't like a lot of eye contact, so you have autism. Sometimes it's just a personality trait that is lost in translation with regards to this particular authoritarian screed. That's about all. Peace out.